Hello and good morning. It's Joanne here from Public Sector Marketing Institute, bringing you behind the scenes of the fourth Public Sector Digital Marketing Summit. It is 4 weeks away, so obviously preparations are ramping up, and we are also tying down our speakers, which is the exciting part. Now, I know a lot of you have been reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, Joanne, when are you going to announce the full agenda?" Well, this morning, that's why I'm here to let you know who will be joining us in person in Dublin at the fourth Public Sector Digital Marketing Summit. The date is Thursday, the 27th of October. It's a one-day event. One day out of the office will impact your next marketing and comms year. That is the promise. So it's a hybrid event this year for the very first time. So that means that you can join online or you can come in person. Remember, our in-person tickets are limited to 100, and that's the capacity that we have decided. But let's get straight to why I am here, and that is to let you know who is on the agenda. There are still a number of people that we have to confirm, so just to let you know that. And in the case of any events, maybe this agenda is subject to change depending on what happens our speakers, but I'm hoping I won't have to change it in any way. So we are making sure that this event is really interactive with the audience. I want our audience, both online and in person, to be key players at this conference. So your questions, your comments, your opinions are all welcome. So you will be to the center of it. So opening up the fourth Public Sector Digital Marketing Summit will be Tom Cochran. So you may be familiar with this name because Tom has written the foreword for my book, Public Sector Marketing Pro. Do I have a copy? Let me check without wrecking the place. So that's the first edition, and Tom kindly wrote the foreword for the book. So Tom has worked as Chief Digital Advisor in the Obama administration in the White House, also worked in the US State Department, and is a digital consultant. And he also wrote the foreword for the updated edition, the second edition, which I'll be launching at the summit on the 27th of October. So the first session in the morning is all about leadership online, because I truly believe that when it comes to great public sector or government digital comms, we need leaders to lead from the front. So that is going to set the tone for the day. Tom is going to join us in Dublin, which I'm thrilled about. So I'll finally get to meet him in person also. Although I feel like I know him because we've spoken at length over a number of years. Staying stateside, but coming in virtually, we have Professor Stephen Morielli, who is chair of the Criminal Justice Department at Worcester State University in Massachusetts, and his case study will inspire you. He's also the host of the Cop Doc podcast, which I've been a guest on, and he does remarkable work. So he's previously also received a Distinguished Service Award from the Secretary of US Health and Human Service for his role in responding and leading a team of agents to assist at the World Trade Center on September the 11th, 2001. And when Steve talks about leadership, it really is, it's breathtaking, and I'm really delighted that he's agreed to join us in the morning, which I believe is going to be very, very early for him, but he is definitely committed to sharing his wealth of knowledge with us all. So with that keynote and that case study, then we're going to have a fireside chat, and we have two very impressive women, may I add, taking to the stage to give us frontline experience of leading their organizations, not just leading them on the job, but also leading them online, which is why we're all getting together to talk about it. And so I'm delighted to announce that we have Antoinette Cunningham, who is General Secretary of the Association of Garda Sergeants and Inspectors in Ireland, and also Emma Finn, who is Head of Internal Communications at Ireland's Health Service Executive. And at this stage also, this is where we invite audience participation. So you'll get to ask them their experience, how they overcame challenges, their opinions, their views, and their positions on particular aspects of digital communications. And so, whether you're with us via the Hoover app and attending online, or whether you are in person, you all get to contribute, because I'm going to have a co-host on the day. Yes, I am. I'm going to have a virtual co-host, and I'm delighted to announce that Kaya Flynn, who is a broadcaster, a presenter, and who's also a graduate of the Diploma in Social Media for Radio with Learning Waves and studied with me, is going to be our co-host. So she will manage all the interactions and the community in our app, and will join me on screen throughout the day to give us updates. And Kaya currently works with Radio Kerry. So from Kerry to Dublin, she will be beaming in and making sure that the voice of our online community is not missed in any way throughout the day. So after that first session and really setting the tone for the day, we're then going to jump into social media, because these are key platforms for you guys communicating in government and public sector. And as you know, social media has changed, and it's changed rapidly in the past year. So we're going to have a session on social media strategies, tactics, and lessons learned from 2022 and plans for 2023. And we have an exceptional range of organizations joining us from the UK, from mainland Europe, and from Ireland. And I'm delighted to announce that we will have the Mayor of London's office, we will have the EPP group in the European Parliament, we'll have Cork City Council, and we will have Atlantic Technological University. And for people who don't know, previous to that, coming into being this year, it was the amalgamation of 3 institutes of technology on the west coast, from Donegal to Galway, and including our friends in Sligo. So they're going to talk about how 3 brands became one on social and how they're approaching their social media strategy. So very excited about that. We're then going to have a really important session on communicating science in the age of disinformation. Now, let me tell you, it doesn't really matter if you're not a science organization, because most of the policy that public sector and government are implementing comes around on the back of evidence and data gathering and research. So while the session is framed as communicating science, we're going to cover some big issues like climate, like public health, and also around youth communications. And joining us for that session are Alexandra Kamanovich from the World Health Organization, Emer Manning from the National Youth Council of Ireland, and Margarita Zorgonona from Euroocean. So this is another great opportunity to lean into those experts operating on the front line and really ask them questions, and indeed challenge them on how they're approaching digital comms in a world where conversation and chaos is rife online, and you really want clarity of your communication to reach the citizen. We're going to end the day with some inspirational case studies on some public sector agencies that are innovating in the digital age, and this will cross digital comms, stakeholder outreach, and also social media. And confirmed so far for that session are Board Ishkiwara and also the National Concert Hall. So I'm absolutely thrilled that we have such a great lineup, and there still are a number of places for speakers already there on the agenda. As you can appreciate, speaking to people, looking at their diary, logistically getting them to Dublin, trying to arrange all of that can take a little bit of time. So I just want to thank everyone who's already bought tickets. Thank you for your patience and for your trust in us, that we are going to deliver an excellent 4th Public Sector Digital Marketing Summit. So Miriam says on LinkedIn she's already signed up, and Colleen on Facebook says, sounds like an exciting event is planned. A host of great speakers, a great addition to have Kaya on board as co-host. Absolutely. And I felt it was really important this year that we had a co-host and that we ensured that the virtual audience was treated as important as those in person. And so I knew I needed somebody to mind those. And Kaya, I thought, was the ideal person. She's a just wonderful energy. We bounce off each other really, really well, and she'll bring a great dynamism to the event. And really, that's it so far. We have some excellent speakers. The opportunity is with the audience. You guys are going to drive the conversation and the atmosphere on the day. I mean, my job is simply as host to introduce the speakers, to hand the mic over to the audience, but I really want you guys that are coming along to really drive the tone and the atmosphere for the day. So if you are still on the fence, or if you do intend to come along, then that's fantastic. You can view our different tickets on publicsectormarketingpros.com/summit. And if you have any particular questions, drop us an email and we'll be happy to answer them. And actually, every time we get a question, we add it to the FAQ section on the summit page. Everyone who comes along gets a free copy of my book. This is the draft copy. It's the copy I've been using to record the audiobook. So if you're coming in person, you get a hard copy, signed hard copy. If you're coming virtually, you get an e-Kindle edition or the audiobook. And can I tell you, I had the best fun recording the audiobook, and I'm currently listening back to it. And it's brilliant. And I love Audible and I love audiobooks. You know, after a long day being in front of the computer, my mental capacity is really minimized. And so I think that audiences will really delight in having an audiobook for the second edition of Public Sector Marketing Pro. I didn't have it with the first edition, so this is new. Thank you for your time. If you're watching the replay, do put your questions into the comments and I will come back to you. Thanks for tuning in live, and I hope to see you in Dublin on the 27th of October for the 4th Public Sector Digital Marketing Summit.